Warning. Actonville TV disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the host, authors, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any religious affiliation.
Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swamiye Saranamayappa. Welcome to Actonville TV, everybody. It's for everyone. This is the Journey Show, the show about exploring Hinduism as a whole. I'm your host, Kimera, Heeralal, and if you'd like to interact with us in studio today, please do so by commenting at the bottom of the screen, or if you want to hashtag any of your beliefs, your comments, and your views as anonymous, you're welcome to do so by, well, WhatsApping us on our WhatsApp line, which you'll find at the bottom right of your screen throughout the entire show. There's it right there. All right, as we're talking about interacting with us in studio today, we got Vishnu Devan Mudli coming in and greeting us this evening, and as well as Devan Naidu. Namaskaram to you too, sir. Well, Vishnu Devan, like I said, Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swamiye Saranamayappa. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to everyone to the show. If you are watching the show for the very first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it already. And if you have subscribed to the show or channel rather, please do click on the share button, as we are a growing channel and a growing station, and we'd like, well, the numbers help us better ourselves and grow as a community channel. Alright, so we are talking about Geeta Week. Okay, alright, so everyone's like, huh? What's Geeta Week? We Hindu and we know what's a Bhagavad Gita, but what is Geeta Week? Now, Geeta Week, as we're talking about it today, Geeta Week starts on the day after the Shravan Purnima, the Raksha Bandhan. And it continues until one day before the Krishna Ashtami. Now, it generally lasts about 7 days or nights, and the significance of the festival to Hinduism as well. So during the build-up of the Krishna Ashtami, the devotees engage in spiritual activities. So happy Geeta Week to all of the Hindus out there, okay? To everybody who's watching the show, happy Geeta Week. We're going to go a little more in depth with it. We've got Dr. P.K. Maestri joining us today on the show, as well as Shashi Gusain. And well, I'm happy to and proud to announce Vishnu Devan Mudli also joining the show, as well as Devan Naidu. Thank you guys so much for joining the show. And we are discussing today Geeta Week. But before we get to it, as we always do and usually do when we open up anything in Hinduism, we always must stop and take a look and start. Make sure even when you enter a temple, make sure you make a stop at Lord Ganesha first before starting anything, as you know and you are taught by your elders that without getting through Ganesha first, none of the other deities will listen to you. So let's open up the show with Ganapati with Starlers Music Academy. Check it out.
Namaskaram, Vanakkam, Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, and greetings to everyone streamed into the special program that we have prepared. My name is Shreya Raman. Firstly, we the students of the Styler Music Academy would like to offer our salutations to our esteemed, gorgeous and brilliant Guru, Reshan Styler Naidu. This evening on vocals we have Riyanka Mantri, Divyan Govender, Nivashni Govender, Nilisha Govender, Ishara Naika, and on keyboard we have Lishanta Naidu. We are privileged once again to have maestro tabla player who is no stranger to the South African music industry, Uncle Radden Rangan. Thank you for always assisting us. We will now do an invocation prayer for Lord Ganesha.
முன்னவனே யானி முகத்தவனே முன்னவனே யானி முகத்தவனே முத்தினயம் சொன்னவனே தூய்மை சுகத்தவனே மன்னவனே சிற்பரனே மன்னவனே சிற்பரனே ஐங்கரனே சென்சடையும் சேகரனே தற்பரனே நின்றாள் சரணம் உலகலாம் உணர்ந்த போதற்கு அறியவன் நீல உலாவியன் நீர்மலிவேலியன் உலகலாம் உணர்ந்த போதற்கு அறியவன் நீல உலாவியன் நீர்மலிவேலியன் அழகு சோதியன் அம்பலத்து ஆடுவான் அழகு சோதியன் அம்பலத்து ஆடுவான் மனசிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவோம் மனசிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவோம் உலகலாம் உணர்ந்த போதற்கு அறியவன் நீல உலாவியன் நீர்மலிவேலியன் நீல உலாவியன் நீர்மலிவேலியன் நீல உலாவியன் நீர்மலிவேலியன்.
Jai Ganesha! Did you guys see Ganapati sitting in the corner right of your screen? Beautiful delivery with the opening prayer from the Asian Style and Idols Music Academy called Stylers Music Academy in Durban. I love this. I love the fact that these kids are being taught culture and grooming their talents for free, because this is now Asian Style and Idols Seva. Beautiful delivery, lovely. I love those kids, by the way. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Nishi Heeralal coming in through YouTube saying Namaste Kimera, Namaste Nishi Heeralal. Alright, we also got Ria Terry Dawson, Namaste Kimi, Namaste Anchiria. Welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining the show. Alright, so happy Geeta week to every single one of you. And for those of you who want to know a little bit more about the Geeta, I know this word also comes from Bhagavad Gita. Like, you know, everybody knows the Bible, everybody knows the Quran. So today we're going to give you a bit of a brief of what a Bhagavad Gita actually is. A lot of people don't know what that is, and including Hindus. It's sad to say that I've been talking to or speaking to a lot of children nowadays, and you guys know that putting together the show does not only contain this or use my 1 hour every day. I also have to go out during the day, meet new people, record Dr. PK Maestri, Shashi Gusain, censor footage. In the studio, we've got Andy Poonen editing the show for us. So I spend a lot of time with different Hindus from different places every single day. So we're going to talk about what the Bhagavad Gita actually is about. And we're going to share with you all our, different views from different places of the world. All right, so yes, we are streaming live in the Nation South. Yes, we are on Actonville TV, but we're keeping this whole cultural show with the entire globe. So if you are from China, if you're from India also, whether you're from the United States of America or London, wherever it may be, share with us your views and your beliefs, as we know that every single country or every single province or every single place that has different beliefs next to the other person, guys shouldn't actually fight about this. I noticed something. People end up in an argument when they say, oh, you are delivering wrong information about Hinduism. It's not that. It's that each place was taught differently how to perform certain rituals in Hinduism. And there was a time where the avatars or the deities came down and they told certain people in certain places to do certain rituals a certain way due to the fact that energies work a certain way with the universe. That is how Hinduism works. It's not that, oh, okay, Canada performs that ritual like that and that is wrong. No, it's not wrong. The way they were taught is correct, and it's nice to share your views, your beliefs, your wisdom with us right here on Actonville TV. Before we get to Dr. PK Maestri, I'd like to announce that recently they've been coming in through YouTube. We move that you love that these kids being taught culture. Well, thank you so much for commenting. And we love that you love that these kids being taught culture. We love you, Mr. Murli. Thank you for joining the show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know this is going to be a long hour. It's going to be an educational hour, also entertaining with some great music. Straight after the commercial break, we're going to have Dr. PK Maestri, and I'll share some of my information with you. And then straight after that, we're going to have Shashi Gusain's view and knowledge and wisdom, should we say, from London. So it's going to be nice to be well educated about Hinduism and how things work around the globe. As I told you, it's nice to learn how each part of the globe works, as energies work differently. So obviously, when the deities of the gods came down, they did teach us that there are different rituals in different places. Straight after this commercial break. Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swamiye Saranam. Welcome back, everybody. Alright, if you just joined the show, we're currently streaming live in the Nation South on Actonville TV. This is the Journey Show, the show about exploring Hinduism as a whole. I'm your host, Kimera, Heeralal, and if you'd like to interact with us in studio today, please do so by commenting at the bottom of the screen. If you wish to keep yourself anonymous, you're welcome to WhatsApp us on our WhatsApp line, which you'll find at the bottom right of your screen. Hashtag it anonymous, but we will still share your views. Remember, guys, this platform is not for fighting, it's an educational platform about Hinduism. Alright, so before we get into any beliefs, just a quick one from hashtag Anonymous. Anonymous says there are 33 million Hindu gods. That is why there are so many different beliefs. Thank you so much. We've got Ria Terry Dawson coming in from YouTube. She says, we are living in an era where we amidst a religious war in all different faiths and beliefs. People are no more open to cultural and religious respect. walls have been raised to keep others out. This is so true, Auntie Ria. Thank you so much for your comment. We've got Yossi coming in. Namaste, Auntie Kimera. Namaste, Uncle Yossi. Thank you so much for joining the show. Everybody coming in through YouTube this evening. I'm so proud and happy to say we have finally trafficked Facebook people to YouTube. Thank you so much. All right. Once again, we are talking about. Well, we titled this show called Geeta Week, and we are mentioning the Bhagavad Gita and its meaning. And we're not going into depth deep into conversation. We don't want to bore you guys, but we also want to keep you well entertained with some great music, Bhajan music, might I add. And yes, it is a cultural show. Let's take a look at what Dr. P.K. Maestri has put together for us this evening to make sure that you have a good understanding, a better understanding of what this Geeta Week is about. Let's take a look.
Good evening to the viewers of Active World TV. Once again, we are about to do a presentation on a great aspect of Hinduism. Hinduism is 4,200 years old, some say 5,000, and it's also called Sanatana Dharma, as we mentioned yesterday. Basically, Hinduism comprises of Ganapatism, Kaumarism, Shaktism, Saivism, and Vaishnavism. There are numerous religious books, namely the Tirukkural, the Thevaram, Tiruvasakam, Arupa, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita. Tonight, we are concentrating on Vaishnavism. Lord Krishna is the central figure in the epic, the Bhagavad Gita, which is authored and translated by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakta Devanta Swami Prabhupada. It is said by Thomas Merton, a Catholic theologian, a monk, and an author. He says the Gita can be seen as the main literacy support for the great religious center of India, the oldest surviving culture of the globe. The presentation, translation, and commentary is another manifestation of the permanent loving importance of the Gita. Prabhupada brings to the world a salutary reminder that our highly artistic and one-sided culture is faced with the crisis that many end in self-destruction because it lacks the depth of an authentic metaphysical consciousness. The Bhagavad Gita, often is referred as the Gita, is a 700-verse Hindu scripture which is part of the great epic, the Mahabharata. It forms the chapters 23 to 40 of the book number 6 of the Mahabharata, which is called the Bhisma Parva. The work is dated to the second half of the first millennium. In Sanskrit, it is also referred to as the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is not to be confused with the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a Purana. Purana is a story dealing with the life of the Hindu god Krishna and the various avatars of Vishnu. The Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna. It is a truly happy event in the changing world. Inner strength, we all are empowered with the inner strength and have the ability to face any situation. It declares God to be Krishna, the Supreme Person. He is not judgmental or envious, but a living and lovable person. The sweetest aspect of the Bhagavad Gita is it glorifies the relationship between Krishna and his devotees, how they serve him unconditionally and how he reciprocates with them affectionately. During the last 2 days, we went at length discussing the origination of Krishna, and then we went on to talk about the birth of Krishna and how Krishna phased away from Mother Earth and settled in Gokula, Loka. Summarizing the Upanishads' conceptions of God, the Gita posts the entrance or the existence of a lower human self, which is called the Atman, and the higher God self, which is called the Brahman, within each individual. The dialogue between the prince and his character has been interpreted as a metaphor for the immortal dialogue between the human self and God. Human self, Arjuna; God, Krishna. Commentators of the Vedanta read varying notions in the Bhagavad Gita about the relationship between the Atman, that's the individual self, and the Brahman, which is the universal self. The Bhagavad Gita is a poem written in Sanskrit language, and it has 700 verses. It is structured into several ancient Indian poetic metaphors, with the principal being the shloka. It has 18 chapters in total. The Gita, as we said, is a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna right before the start of the Kurukshetra war. In the Hindu epic Mahabharata, two massive armies have gathered to destroy each other. The Pandavas. Prince Arjuna asks his charioteer, Krishna, to drive to the center of the battlefield so that he can get a good look at both the armies and all those so eager for war. He sees that some among his enemies are his own relatives, beloved friends and revered teachers. He does not want to fight to kill them, and is thus filled with doubt, despair on the battlefield. He drops his bow, wonders if he should renounce and just leave the battlefield. He turns to the charioteer and guide Krishna for advice on the rationale for war. He rejoices, and the right thing to do is put his bow down. The Bhagavad Gita is the compilation of Arjuna's question and moral dilemma, and Krishna's answers and insights that elaborate on a variety of philosophical concepts. Interestingly enough, we said that it contains so many chapters. So I'm going to not tell you about each chapter, I'm going to list the chapters. Chapter 1 is observing the armies on the battlefield of the Kurukshetra war. Chapter 2 is going to deal with the contents of the Gita summarized version. Chapter 3 is going to deal with Karma Yoga. That's one form of the yoga. Chapter 4 is transcendental knowledge. Chapter 5, action in Krishna consciousness. 6 is Dhanya Yoga. Then you got knowledge of the Absolute. Then you got attaining the Supreme. Next chapter, the most confidential knowledge. Next chapter, the opulence of the Absolute. The universal form. Look at the various chapters, how in depth even the headings are stating. You'll hear more about, in particular, chapter 1 tonight. Then you got chapter 12, the devotional services. Chapter 13, the nature, the enjoyer and consciousness. 14, the three modes of material nature. 15, the yoga of the supreme reason. You can see yoga is playing a prominent role in the Bhagavad Gita. 16, the divine and demonic nature. 17, the divisions of faith. And lastly, and the last chapter, the conclusion, is the protection of renunciation. I wish you all the best during the Gita week, starting today. Throughout the world, most of the Hindu temples will start discussing the origination of the Gita week and then going into detail from chapter 1 to chapter 18 and ending up with the protection of renunciation. That means giving up all your worldly life, following the Bhagavad Gita, following Krishna in particular, and the word renunciation, looking for God. I thank you tonight.
Dr. P.K. Maestri, ladies and gentlemen, from the Meenakshi Sundareswara Koval on Starling Street in Lenasia South Extension 1. Thank you so much, Dr. P.K. Maestri, for sharing your wisdom. And, well, we all need a little bit of wisdom now and then, hey? All right, everybody, and so much of love coming through this evening. Thank you guys so much. We've got, Bonnie Singh coming in saying, Namaste, my beautiful Kimera. Can't wait to meet you. I believe you must be a friend of my mom's. I can't wait to meet you too, Auntie Bonnie. And we've got Ria Terry as well. Okay, lots of messages coming through. Ria Terry says she's a whole ball of lightning storm with rainbows and sprinkles, Bonnie. Dashni Manikam, Vanakam doll. Heeralal, just like her mom. Ria Terry Dawson. But of course, please ask him to play my prayer song. Okay, Auntie Ria, unfortunately, the prayer music that we put up, there's a whole process and a whole procedure to follow with YouTube rules and live stream rules. So if you do have any special requests, you're welcome to drop us a message at the bottom of the screen and we will make sure to get that video sorted out for you. Alright, Devan Naidu coming in talking about Lord Krishna this evening. Thank you so much, Mr. Naidu. He says, Lord Krishna states several times that he is the supreme being, the supreme Lord, the Paramatma who upholds the three worlds, pervading them, and who remembers all his deeds, teachings, and incarnations. Fact, Devin. Thank you so much, Mr. Naidu. Ria Terry Dawson coming in. Thank you, Doctor. As well. Ria says no problem. Yeah, we're gonna sort that out for you. Just leave it at the end of the show if you can. Name of the song that you want or prayer that you want, and yeah, we'll try and get it as fast as possible. All right, don't forget. So for those of you who just joined the show, Auntie Bonnie, Auntie Ria, Uncle Yossi, Dashni, for all of you who haven't subscribed to this channel, please do it now if you can, as it helps us grow as a community station or channel. All right, as we are talking about Lord Krishna, let's give him praise with Deshan Style and Naidu and the Style and Music Academy. Check it out.
Janaki Vallabham Rama Narayanam
Govinda, Stylers Music Academy from Durban. Well, praising Lord Krishna, Govinda, right here on Attenborough TV, ladies and gentlemen. I can feel the love coming in through YouTube. Lots and lots of love, especially, well, thanks for the education, Devanaidu. He chooses to share with us since we are talking about Lord Krishna and we're talking about the Bhagavad Gita. And it is Gita week on this episode. So he says the Bhishma Parva describes the first 10 days of the Great War between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, as well as it includes the dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna on why and when war must be fought, dharma, and the paths to liberation. Thank you so much. Nishi Heeralal coming in with wash hands. We got Prem Bhagwanda's beautiful rendition. Thank you so much, Prem. It's the first time I'm seeing you. Please do subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon and select all, as it'll notify you every weekday when we are live. Ria Terry coming in with saying beautiful. Nishi Heeralal. Namaste, Prem. Thank you for coming online. Well done to Stylers Academy as well. And Prem continues to say, wow, thank you for introducing me to this amazing channel. Well done, Attenborough TV. Thank you so much. I'll say Auntie Prem, as I can see that you are a friend of Nishi's and you must be elder than I am. Alright, so we're talking about Gita Week. Gita Week is this time that we're in, and we are talking about the Bhagavad Gita as we are still in the introduction of it. I'm looking at the Bhagavad Gita, guys. It has 18 chapters with 700 verses. And when I was sitting in Dr. P.K. Maestry's lounge today, I said to him, how in God's name are we going to do this in 1 week? We can carry on with the Bhagavad Gita for years and we still won't finish. But anyway, we will do our best to educate and teach you about our Word of God book called the Bhagavad Gita straight after this commercial break. Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swamiye Saranamayappa. Welcome back, everybody. Good evening to those of you who just joined the show. We are still streaming live in Lenasia South on Attenborough TV. This is a show called The Journey, and it's about exploring Hinduism as a whole. I'm your host, Kimera Heeralal, and if you'd like to interact with us in studio today, please do so by commenting at the bottom of the screen. A lot of people are quite skeptical about commenting with their name showing. You're welcome to hashtag yourself anonymous and drop us a WhatsApp on our WhatsApp line, which you'll find at the bottom right of your screen throughout the entire show. Alright, I do apologize for calling Prem Bhagwanda's auntie, as it is Uncle Prem. Forgive me for that, as Nishi has corrected me. Thank you so much. We got Ria Terry coming in saying Cortex Solutions, better, safer, reliable. One of our biggest sponsors right here on Attenborough TV. Shout out to Cortex Solutions for your cyber and IT security. Alright, okay, let's get back into it. Okay, so we're talking about Gita Week and we're talking about the Bhagavad Gita. Very, very special week for most people, and a lot of Hindus need to understand that, like the book, as Christians have the Bible, Muslims may have the Quran. Now we have the Bhagavad Gita, which many people don't even know much about or even understand it, even though they may be Hindu as well. And it's sad to say that even our elders haven't even taught us that. Well, some of us, not all of us. I'm saying some of us. All right. So a lot of us, well, according to me, all I know is that it's 18 chapters. That's all I knew, and I knew the book was mostly about Lord Krishna, and it's news to me that it's 700 verses when I actually took a look at it and did research. So we had a listen to what Dr. P.K. Maestri had to say, and he is, well, an author, and he is very learned and very well educated about the Hindu culture. Let's fly all the way to London and see how things are done there and believed there and taught there by Shashi Gosai. Today she's talking about the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1. Let's take a look.
Namaste, I'm Shashi Gosai and welcome. Now, the ultimate book on spirituality for Hindus is the Bhagavad Gita. It contains 18 chapters and 700 verses, pearls of wisdom of how we should live life even today. The actual Gita teachings is imparted in an epic battle of Kurukshetra between Pandavas and Kauravas, and this is documented in our epic book called the Mahabharata. The blind king Dhritarashtra asks Sanjay, who has the ability to see everything, to tell him everything that's happening in the battle within his family. So let's have a look. The Pandavas, which is Arjuna and his brothers, have come back to get their kingdom back from the caretaker king, King Dhritarashtra, who wants to give it to his son Duryodhan, although it rightfully belongs to the eldest son, Yudhishthir. So this is where the conflict started. The Pandavas are upholding dharma, the duty to rule the kingdom, whereas the Pandavas are using deceit and all forms of treachery to maintain power. The story begins with the battle lines of two armies, and Duryodhan from the Kauravas is so confident of winning. He looks at the massive army he has, and he goes to Dronacharya, who was the head of the army, and lists all these important generals they have and how they're going to win, and the attributes. So each side blows their conches, and this is a signal for the war to begin. Till now, Arjuna was convinced that his cousins are unrighteous, and he, as a Kshatriya, had a duty to uphold and establish his kingdom. He asked Krishna to take his chariot right in the middle so he could survey the army and see how he was going to conduct the war. Krishna takes the chariot right in front of Bhishma and Dronacharya, who are his gurus, just to see what mental turmoil that Arjuna is going to face and how he's actually going to address the situation. But now Arjuna, faced with the reality of killing his cousins and family friends, throws up his hands in despair. He is overcome with grief and despair and tells Krishna that he has no desire to fight. What is this fight if he's going to kill his own cousins, his own friends, his own family? He has no need for this kingdom. He cannot enjoy the kingdom without all his nears and dears. Arjuna casts away his bow and arrow, sits in his chariot right in the middle of the battle. So although set in this battlefield, the discourse of Bhagavad Gita is essentially a two-person conversation about philosophy and yogic principles as opposed to the war itself. So it's not discussing about how the war is going to be done, but what we're going to learn from each angle, each act that one is going to take. Krishna, as the divine force of yoga, dharma and karma, not only has to convince Arjuna to fight, but to fight to win, and to restore the good, to restore balance, to fulfill his duty as a warrior. So you can see the interaction that's going to happen between the two of them. In the process of convincing him, Krishna actually lays down the philosophy of living, and this is the basic of Hinduism. Krishna tells Arjuna to arise with a brave heart and fight and destroy the army. He says it's his duty to defeat evil and restore the power of good. There are three teachings in chapter 1. The first one is to identify the problem. So in this case, Arjuna identified his confusion of how he's going to fight his cousins. The second one is how you're going to address that problem, How are you going to actually face it and come to terms with whatever you have to do? And thirdly, you need a guidance. You need a guru who's going to teach you and show you how you get out of this turmoil and actually have answers to what you're going to do. Krishna identified 3 types of problems or samsara. The first one is called attachment or karpa, second one grief or shoka, and third one delusion or moha. And when one is not happy with themselves, we seek external aids, dependence, attachment, leading to a very troubled mind. And this is what Arjuna is going through at the moment. So Arjuna is naturally at this moment going through attachment, and then that leads on to grief and delusion. So the first chapter actually gives a message that the root cause of all sorrow and suffering in our world is the inability to deal with confusion. So naturally Arjuna is overpowered with this attachment, and that leads to grief and delusion. That is why Geeta is taught in the middle of a battlefield, with soldiers screaming, swords clanging, trumpets blaring, and just chaos everywhere. Conflict is everywhere, and we have to learn how to handle it. The sooner we can recognize conflict and how it's going to impact us, the sooner we can look for the remedy and take the action so that we can progress in our professional, personal, and spiritual journeys. We experience conflict at 3 levels. The first one is called the material. That is the actual disagreements you can have within a family, friends, boss, neighbors, and that is more on a day-to-day basis. The second one is called the mental one. That's the conflict that's going on in our heads all the time, of the decisions we have to make and all the confusion that's going on. And the third one is the spirituality. We are wondering if there's a God, how do we connect? Is there, is there an Atma with us? So it's all the questions that are going on at a more higher level. But these are questions that we do have in our head all the time, and it causes a confusion and just mental noise. And this is something that we have to learn to control and actually see things as they are. And this is so impactful today. So let's go back to Arjuna's dilemma. The first one was material, which is the actual conflict of battle. The second was the mental, the actual conflict that's going on in his head about having to fight his own cousins. And when you cannot reconcile these conflicts in your head, they lead to mental breakdown. And that's what led him to just sit and just give up and wanting to run. And this is what we humans do. When we cannot reconcile all these things, we just run and sometimes just have complete breakdowns, mental breakdowns, because we cannot reconcile and see logic at this time. So what is so unique about Geeta is it teaches us to come to terms with conflicts. Because if we don't, it gives a rise to a third conflict called identity. So now Arjuna questions his own identity. He says, who am I? Am I a warrior fighting for a just cause? Am I a student of an eminent teacher? If I am a warrior, should I be in the Pandav army? If I'm a beloved cousin, should I be in the Kaurav army? So you can imagine the turmoil that's going on, and then he says, I'm both. Oh, what should I do? And since I cannot reconcile my identity, the easiest option is to quit. Quitting is the default response of our own ego. Arjuna uses all kind of logic to justify to Krishna of why he should just quit. And this is something that we do when we cannot face conflicts. We use logic, fate, destiny, any excuse to justify quitting from ourselves, our jobs, our family, our husbands. And this is the confusion of the identity. So unless we know who we are, our identity with God, what our connection to God is, to the Almighty above, we will never be able to completely reconcile all our conflicts, whether it's material, mental, or spiritual. And this is the fundamental lesson in chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. The second chapter contains Krishna Ji's response to Arjuna's dilemmas and conflicts that are going on. It's actually the summary of the entire Gita. It tells us how we're going to deal with the 3 conflicts, whether it's material, mental, or spiritual. So, a lot to learn from each chapter, but it's a small piece of a jigsaw of our own lives. Well, I hope you enjoy listening to the little bit of Hindu religion.
Shashi Gosai, everyone, from London, educating us on chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita. Hope you guys enjoy that, as I think tomorrow she's going to help us with chapter 2. All right, a little bit more of the Bhagavad Gita. Well, start off to this commercial break.
The ultimate accessory, the latest shiny thing, mesmerized, trying to keep up, but never getting ahead in an endless cycle of spending. In this world of constant upgrades, do you want a bank that takes your money, or a bank that takes your money seriously?
Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swamiye Saranamayappa. Welcome back, everybody. All right, we're still talking about the Gita week, and we're in the middle of the Bhagavad Gita. Well, I can't say the middle, but we just started the show. But we just finished chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita. Lots of love and messages and interaction coming in from Nishi Heeralal and Ria Terry Dawson. Thank you guys so much for joining the show, as well as Devan Naidu coming in and sharing his wisdom on the screen. You guys can read the comments there. Let's jump to, so we had Shashi Gosai explaining chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita. We had Dr. P.K. Maestri introducing you to the Bhagavad Gita. Let's quickly jump to the etymology of the Bhagavad Gita, the simple things that that were missed out. Now, the Gita in the title of the Bhagavad Gita actually means song. So we learned quite a few words today. Your Moha. Shashi Gosai taught you a few words today. I'm teaching you that Gita means song. So the religious leaders and the scholars interpret the word Bhagavad in many ways, and there's like a number of ways to describe this or explain this. Now, accordingly, the title has been interpreted as the Word of God. Bhagavad, the Word of God, and this was by the theistic schools, and the words of the Lord, the divine song they also call it, and they also say celestial song by others. So in India, its Sanskrit name is often written as Srimad Bhagavad Gita, just as Shashi Gosai has explained to you guys. And that is how she titled it when she sent it to us. Now, if you look at it now, lots of people are explaining the same stories in the same ways, and it's coming to the same thing. Notice that I will share outsiders' views, and eventually at the end I will have my say. We have Ria coming in on YouTube as well, also saying she loves Shashi Gosai's segment as well. Nishi Heeralal looking forward to chapter 2, which will be tomorrow, guys. And thank you so much for those who did join the show. I know it's a little late, but I love you guys. At the end of the show I will give you a very big thank you. So thank you all for supporting the show. So you all learned today a little bit about the Bhagavad Gita, the introduction, chapter 1, and I gave you a bit of insight as Bhagavad means the word of God and Gita means song. So I also explained to you the meaning from India, and remember guys, this work is all done by the Attenville TV team and the people that you see on the show. And just remember, you are the most important people. You, the viewers, are the most important people that keep the show going and inspire us and me to carry on with it. All right, so let's look at so I explained to you the Sanskrit name Bhagavad Gita, and now the two words that often is written as single words, where the Srimad prefix is used to denote a high degree of respect. So when they call it Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that is to show respect for the book. All right, so this is not to be confused with the Srimad Bhagavatam, okay, which is the Purana dealing with the life of the Hindu god Krishna and various avatars of Vishnu, which we'll get to eventually. We're starting at the beginning. We're starting in grade 1. All right, so this work, or should we say the work, is also known as the Iswara Geeta, the Ananta Geeta, the Hari Geeta, and the Vasya Geeta, and just known as the Geeta. Today we are using the Bhagavad Gita, which will be the simplest way to start off our teachings from the Word of God, the Book of God. As we know that Lord Krishna, or should we say Lord Vishnu's wife Lakshmi, and we just finished Lakshmi's prayers and time, we have Kiran and Nivi who sends us the video all the way from the United States of America celebrating and praising Lakshmi. Let's take a look.
वरलक्ष्मी नमस्तुभ्यं श्री वरलक्ष्मी नमस्तुभ्यं वसुप्रदे श्री वरलक्ष्मी नमस्तुभ्यं वसुप्रदे श्री वरलक्ष्मी नमस्तुभ्यं वसुप्रदे श्री सारसपदे श्री सारसपदे रसपदे सपदे पदे पदे श्री वरलक्ष्मी नमस्तुभ्यं वसुप्रदे श्री सारसपदे रसपदे सपदे पदे पदे श्री वरलक्ष्मी नमस्तुभ्यं वसुप्रदे श्री सरसपदे रसपदे सपदे पदे पदे श्री वरलक्ष्मी नमस्तुभ्यं वसुप्रदे श्री सरसपदे रसपदे सपदे पदे पदे श्री वरलक्ष्मी नमस्तुभ्यं नमस्तुभ्यं भावज जनक प्राणवल्लभे भावज जनक प्राणवल्लभे सुवर्णाभे भावज जनक प्राणवल्लभे सुवर्णाभे भावज जनक प्राणवल्लभे सुवर्णाभे बाणुकोटि समान प्रभे भक्त सुलभे बाणुकोटि समान प्रभे भक्त सुलभे सेवक जन पालिन्ये सेवक जन पालिन्ये चित पंकज मालिन्ये केवल गुणशालिन्ये केशवरत केलिन्ये सेवक जन पालिन्ये चित पंकज मालिन्ये केवल गुणशालिन्ये केशवरत केलिन्ये श्री वरलक्ष्मी नमस्तुभ्यं वसुप्रदे श्री सरसपदे रसपदे pade 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 Shri Varalakshmi Namastubhyam Padmasanasthite Devi Shri Parabrahma Swarupini Parameshi Jagannatah Mahalakshmi Namostate Mahalakshmi Varalakshmi
Om Shakti, Parashakti, Kiran and Nevi from the United States of America praising our Lakshmi Devi. Oh, what a beautiful delivery, guys. I don't know how you're feeling, but I've got, like, by the hairs of my hand are standing up. These girls are amazing. Guys, did you know that they also perform pop music? I swear to God, they perform Michael Jackson better than Michael Jackson. And me being a Michael Jackson fan, wow, these girls are amazing. Lots of love and information coming in from Devin Naidu. Devin Naidu, please, we're starting chapter 2 tomorrow, as people can only absorb so much information in one day, or in 1 hour. Alright, so Nishi and Ria, you guys have been a sport. Thank you so much for commenting and interacting with us in studio today and sharing your views. I see that Auntie Ria watches these girls every day. Beautiful. It's her two favorite sisters, the most beautiful voices. She listens to them every day, guys. Nishi Heeralal complimenting everybody, including Devin Naidu. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, everyone. All right, as you know, it's come to that time of the show where we are at the end and we teach one lesson from the value system from the Tirukkural every single weekday. Today, we are going to teach you from the 108 principles of the value system from the Tirukkural. Today's lesson is coming in at number 56.
Today's lesson from the 108 principles of the value system from the Tirukkural is number 56. Know the proper time for your words and actions.
Took me a while to get that one right. I'd say 30 years worth. You know, growing up and being young and all of that, I never knew when to and when to talk. So yeah, at least I took that lesson at the age of 30. At least, you know, better late than never, guys. Alright, for any of you who are looking for a guru to perform certain services, well, he has confirmed that you don't have to be in South Africa or in Johannesburg. You can contact him and he will tell you further details. You can contact Guru Indresan on 0813250115. He will offer you the following services if need be. He will perform the Jandagam, also known as the astrological readings. We also call it the Panchagam. He can help you with the Navagraha Shanti, your house prayers, your business prayers, your car prayers, your temple and hall weddings, and not forgetting your ceremonies like your 16 days and your 1 year, your Janda prayers, your auspicious Hawans, your Kumbha Abhishekams. His number again, 0813250115. Alright, well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. I did run a little over time, about a minute or so, but join us tomorrow. Well, for the same show, it is Geeta Week, so we're going to call it Geeta Week Part 2, and join us for the Bhagavad Gita Chapter 2, and we'll do this again tomorrow, not same time. Tomorrow, due to the load shedding going back to normal, we will start streaming live at 7 p.m. that was the initial and original time that we stream on the Journey Show. So see you guys tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. From myself, Kimera, Heeralal, Vanakam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swami Saranam Ayyappa. Good night, everyone.